Hello there. Welcome once again to Living on Purpose. My name is Fola at Delisi, and today I'm talking to you about the growth mindset. The growth mindset. When you see anyone who has the growth mindset, one of the most important things that you will see is that the person keeps yearning to grow. The person keeps yearning to become a better person. The person will constantly look forward to opportunities to become better than what they used to be. When someone has a growth mindset, they are constantly focused on developing themselves. They never think that they have arrived. They see every opportunity as a learning opportunity. It is those who do not have a growth mindset that constantly think that they have arrived, there is nothing else to learn, there is nothing new they can learn from any other person. Anyone with a growth mindset seeks to learn from everyone, anyone, and anywhere. That is why they have a growth mindset. If they enter any organization, you would notice that they will become better people over time. It's just a matter of time. They will not be where they used to be. If they enter organizations as cleaners, you won't be surprised if they become the managing directors of such organization. The reason people can go from being cleaners to managing directors is not because of poverty, is not because of just grace, it's not just because of luck, it is because of a growth mindset. When you find people who are employed as new executive trainings in organizations, the reason they will rise to the top of that organization is a growth mindset. Anybody who has a growth mindset is open to learning. They would always want to see new things. They would always ask themselves, what can I learn from what this person is doing? So it's very important for you to have the growth mindset. I may use the word mindset and mentality interchangeably, but let's first of all deal with the fact that when we talk about mindset, it means that somebody's mind has been set in a particular way. Think about concrete being set. If you pour concrete into a wooden frame that you can call a cast, the concrete will take the shape of that cast. So that's what we mean by mindset. So if we say growth mindset, it means that somebody's mind has been set in such a way that they are open to growing, or they are acceptable. They receive anything that helps them to grow. They don't reject things that will prune them, make them better. They would always accept anything that makes them grow, makes them become better. So the question I need to ask you is, do you have a growth mindset? If you do not have a growth mindset, you need to begin to work on your mindset today. How do you know that you do not have a growth mindset? When you check yourself and you realize that you are constantly rejecting any opportunity for training, you're constantly rejecting any suggestion that any other person is bringing to you without even reviewing the suggestion, then it's possible that you do not have a growth mindset. If you have been doing something over a few years and you're still doing it exactly the same way you're doing it, it is possible that you do not have the growth mindset. You can work on your growth mindset. You can become more acceptable or receptive to ideas. You can work on that growth mindset to the point where you are yearning for more growth. No matter how much you have attained in life, the proof of a growth mindset is when you really want to achieve more, when you want to learn more, when you want to become a better person. How do you see, or how do you identify a growth mindset? Look at anybody around you who has achieved a lot, for example, academically, and still sits down to listen to younger people or people who don't know as much as they do. That's somebody with a growth mindset. When you look at people who seem to be high up there, humbling themselves, looking at what the younger people are doing and learning from them, now that's someone with a growth mindset. It's possible that you have seen people who haven't achieved much in life, but nobody can talk to them. You would say they are arrogant. Yes, there's a part of arrogance, but there's also the part of not having a growth mindset. When you have a growth mindset, you'll be willing to learn from other people. You want to become a better person. Whatever it is that you're doing, how do you make it bigger, or how you can make it bigger will be your focus. Whatever it is that you get into, you're constantly asking the people on the team, how can we improve what we're doing? How can we make it the best? And you're willing to learn regardless of what it costs you, even if you have to sell certain things or borrow or do whatever it takes to learn. Anybody with a growth mindset will always go out of their way to learn something new, to become a better person, and not say, that is who I am, there's nothing I can do about it. If you hear people say, there's nothing I can do about it, that's how I was born, it's the circumstances of my parents, now that's somebody who does not have a growth mindset. So my question to you is, do you have a growth mindset? Here are the parameters to put in place to make sure that you have a growth mindset. Number one, always check where you were 1 year ago versus where you are today. If there is no evidence of growth, it means that you do not have a growth mindset. Now check where you are today versus the aspirations that you have from the next 1 year. Have you imputed into your goals, into your plans, into your resolutions, any plan to improve yourself, to become a better person? If there is no such plan, it means that you do not have a growth mindset. Do people around you constantly counsel you? And if they counsel you, how do you react after they have counseled you? Or do you even receive counsel? If people have stopped counseling you, it could be because you no longer have a growth mindset, or they have seen that you don't take their opinions, so they stopped counseling you. I want to implore you today to understand that one of the ways to grow and become a better person is to have a growth mindset. So set parameters in place to make sure that you're constantly growing, and over time you'd realize that having a growth mindset can take you far in life. Thank you. Please head on now to www.youtube.com/Fola Daniel Speaks.